Thursday, term 2, week 2, the home learning work for today. Remember, as I remind you every day, you can click the bubble to watch this video that you're watching now. You can click that again to watch again on this bubble. Okay, term 2, week 2. Today is Thursday. We have our morning Zoom to check in at 9:15. We have English, maths, and wellbeing today. Over here it says, for English, we're completing all tasks in Activity 7 of the English workbook. For Maths, playing 2 handfuls again, which is the game you played yesterday, and I will go further through those instructions underneath when we get to that page. And then Wellbeing, your teacher will post it for you. I'm about to explain it to you, but if you're on the Thursday workbook, it is the last page. Okay, English Activity 7. So we're going to look at vocabulary clines. This down here is a vocabulary cline. This thing looks like a thermometer, which is what we use to take temperatures, to take the temperature of outside, or we used to use ones that look like this for people as well. But now we more use digital ones, so we don't see the inside and what it looks like. But just imagine down here is the colder it gets all the way up to the warmer it gets. So it puts it in order from coldest to warmest. It's changing the slide on me. Okay, so, oh my goodness, mouse. Okay, so it's changing it. It goes from coldest to warmest. So it's putting it in an order from smallest to biggest. Okay, so if you have a look here, they've chosen the word freezing. Freezing is about as cold as you can get. I'm sure there's more words that are more cold than freezing, but when we think about it, we can think of freezing as about as cold as you can get. Cold is not as cold as freezing, so freezing stays down the bottom and then we go up and it's cold. Chilly gets a little bit cold, a little bit warmer. Cold, I would say cold is more cold than chilly. Then it gets nippy or cool, then mild, warm, hot, boiling, and sweltering. Do you see how at the bottom you've got the coldest word we can think of, and at the top we've got the warmest word we can think of? You can do that with lots and lots of different words. If we have a look here, it's asking you to use the word big. If we have a look at the word big and start with the word big and we go even bigger than big, have a think about all the other words you could use. If we use the word huge in the examples up here, it says huge and enormous. I would say that enormous is bigger than huge. If we say big, then huge, then enormous. Enormous sounds massive. Maybe there's another word in there for you. Okay, have a think of all the words you can think of for the word big, and then put them in order to make it go from, it's hard to say the smallest, but big is the smallest as you can go, and then go all the way up. Try that with other words as well. You could use the word small. You could use, I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. I'll think of one during the Zoom call and I'll get back to you. But the idea is you go and you go up and you go from the smallest to the biggest. So if big is your smallest, you get bigger. That's probably a bit confusing, but if you have a look at this one, that makes it a bit more easy to understand. Okay, for reading, same reading you do every single day. Remember all of the things that we teach you about fluency and expression. And if you don't know a word, you can use your monitoring skills and look up a word, and then talk to an adult, whether it's me or Miss Colley online, or Mr. Williams online. Tell us all about what was happening in that book. What happened? We're looking at narratives at the moment. Tell us about who it happened to, the characters, when it happened, where it happened, what the narrative is, okay? Did anything interesting happen? What was the complication and what was the resolution? So have a think about all of those things and let us know, or let your parent know. Okay, next it says imagery in poetry. So to read a hairy tank, if you click on where it says a hairy tank, it'll open the page for that story, that poem. Okay, if you also search a hairy tank, you should be able to find the the poem online. So as you read, highlight examples of imagery, which is something we've been looking at. So things that put the picture in your mind. Things with adjectives and similes that we learnt yesterday. Things that paint that picture in your mind. I want you to highlight that. A wombat is a hairy tank. That puts a picture in my mind, so I can highlight that. Have a go at writing. So now what you need to do is also write a few of your own. Then I want you to share them with me, Miss Collie, and your classmates. So you can share on Google Classroom or ClassDojo. Alright, check your work. Make sure you've done the vocabulary climb, make sure you've done your independent reading, and then make sure you've done the hairy tank poetry. Reflection. Using the right word is a powerful way to communicate. See how they've used powerful? They could have just said using the right word is a good way to communicate. Powerful makes that sentence more powerful. So have a think about the words and how we can make our sentences more interesting. Share some of your favorite new words for writing and why you like using them on our online platform. I'd like to get together a bank of words that are new words to you. When you're reading, write down those interesting words. Yesterday in the editing text, there were some really, really interesting new words that I know that everyone learned a few words on that. So maybe you could share all of those words and we can make a big bank of words, of new words for us to use in our writing. And remember, you need to follow the rules for sharing online and read other people's stuff too. There's no use posting the exact same thing. And we're not going to go out and say, oh, you posted the same thing. You copied me. You're in different houses. They didn't copy you. They just had the idea and posted it first. So post your words and think about our online rules. Okay. Thursday, activity 9 for maths. Now this is very similar to yesterday. Play the 2 handfuls. So take 2 handfuls of pasta, beans, counters, whatever it is that you used yesterday. Watch the video, which I posted the video again. So this picture was a video and it doesn't work. So if you click there where it says watch the video, where it's blue, you can watch that video again. But watch the video about 36 counters, read the instructions for exploring arrays, complete exploring arrays activities and post your photos. Also do your Mathletics and Online Prodigy tasks. So if we have a look here, you're going to do that again, do the 2 handfuls again, use what you learnt yesterday, estimate how many you have. Remember, estimate means to guess. And determine what you might have by looking and thinking. Then you need to watch that video which tells you to arrange it. At the moment, that array that is on the board there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 columns going up and down. 6 rows going across. So you need to, when you organize that, you know that it's 6 rows and 6 columns. 6 times 6. 6 times 6 equals 36. So take 36 objects and they want you to put them into a rectangular structure so that you have equal rows and columns. When you do that, that's called an array. Draw and describe your array using words and symbols. Then you need to reorganize your pasta in pieces so it forms a different type of rectangle. So no more 6 times 6. Think of another one that you can think of. How many rows and how many columns can you do with 36 objects? Draw and describe your array. So if I were to draw this one, if I were to describe this one, I would say 6 times 6 equals 36. How are you going to do your new ones? Something times something equals 36. Keep reorganizing until there's no more. So think of how many different types of arrays you can make with 36 and draw and record them all. Then pick your favorite one and describe it using both multiplication and division. We will explain the division one on the Zoom this morning because that might be a bit more complicated. But just so you know, division and multiplication are the opposites of each other. So if we say 6 times 6 equals 36, then 36 divided by 6 equals 6. Okay, that might help you, but we will also help you during the Zoom this morning to explain it a bit better. You are able to describe it as multiplication if you do the thing that we said here. 6 times 6 is 36. You're doing different arrays, so you would do something times something equals that. Okay, I know it sounds a little bit more complicated, but I'm sure you'll all go, oh, I get it now when we talk about it during the Zoom. Then we want you to post pictures of your arrays and share your thinking on ClassDojo and Google Classroom. All right, well-being. It's Mother's Day on Sunday, so we want you to make a plan for what you'll do to make your mum, your nan, your auntie, or another person in your life. We want you to make a plan for how you're going to make them feel appreciated on Sunday. And here's some ideas. You could make a video, write a story, draw a picture, write a song. If you have other ideas, make sure you share them on Google Classroom or on ClassDojo so that everyone can see and everyone can think, oh, I might try that one. You probably have a really great idea. These are only the 4 ideas that I thought of. You might have something way out there that everyone could do to make someone in their life feel very appreciated on Sunday. So that's our wellbeing activities. Well, that's all of our activities. I'll see you this morning for our Zoom. Have a great day of learning, everyone.